that most of the world ever saw. Ace, on the other hand, was quiet, reserved, and lived by himself down by the creek in the small cabin that had been the first structure built so many years ago on what eventually became the huge /H ranch. He was the ramrod of the Hollister spread, and still rode a horse any place that he went. The hands all called the lean, quiet, graying man the Big Auger. In his restrained but forceful manner, he seemed to excel at everything he set out to do, and Luke had always secretly tried to emulate him. Uncle Ace, silently tapping his foot but not singing, sat near the organ and watched with satisfaction as Sarah, Luke's mother, played. Clint Hollister tapped a spoon on his glass for attention when his wife finished the carol. The gold watch chain festooned across the front of his vest was strained tight by his ample girth.
"And now we'll have the presents. Girls, you pass those out to all the men, and then each of you children may open one gift. You have to wait until morning for the rest of yours."
He personally handed gaily wrapped sweaters to Maggie, the cook, and Sylvie, the maid. 10-year-old Mary and 8-year-old Alice distributed parcels to the hands. Each got an identical box of Bull Durham tobacco that had a $10 gold piece stuck to the top of the container with a dollop of beeswax. When Ace opened his package, he held up a checkered red Mackinaw coat. Both girls got dolls. Luke stood patiently near the tree, and his father finally said in mock consternation,
"What's this? Ain't there nothing under that tree for old Lucas? Well, maybe he should look out in front of the house."
Luke blushed as he became the center of attention, but slowly walked to the entry hall and then to the massive front door. When he opened it, the pale lamplight spilled out onto the gleaming redness of a big Indian motorcycle on the snowy front walkway. He was speechless, but could barely contain the jubilation that surged inside of him. Several awkward kicks on the starter pedal brought forth a deep, throaty roar from the V-twin engine. It was a chorus of angels in Luke's ears. He started to turn the machine toward the road when there was a tap on his arm. Uncle Ace silently held out his new Mackinaw, and Luke put it on. He inched out onto the rutted and snow-choked road, found the switch for the headlight, and gunned forward into the moonlit night. Clouds of snow billowed out from the slicing front wheel. The stab of brightness from his headlamp chattered up and down on the sea of whiteness that spread out ahead as the front wheel bounced along the uneven road. Frigid air ripped at his face and ears and hands, but the smell of the engine, that marvelous oily smoke smell, made him oblivious to any discomfort. A mile or so down the road, he finally slowed to a stop. Pulling the collar up around his ears, he sat for a moment with hands tucked into the warm pockets of the coat. Several coyotes echoed their mournful lament across the gently rolling hills. The remote vastness glittered with a crisp moonlit brilliance under its mantle of snow. Luke felt as though he were at the very brink of his world. The powerful machine beneath him sent a shiver of excitement through his entire body. He knew that, if he wished, he now had the means and could speed off into the endless unknown, into the far reaches of a world that lay beyond these familiar hills. Over the past few months, the unsettling urge to do just that had mounted in him until he could think of little else. The disharmony and tension between his father and his Uncle Ace, although unspoken more often than not, was so intense that everybody felt the weight of it. With allegiance to both men, Luke sensed himself caught in the middle and wondered if, in some arcane way, he could possibly be the cause of it all. But at this moment, standing so completely alone in the wintry night, he was totally oblivious to the conflict. He looked up at the brilliant stars and felt complete peace. The sandy-haired youth turned the Indian motorcycle around and headed back toward the gaily lit ranch house. "Yes, sir," he silently told himself. "Christmas is the best, the very best."